What's up, guys? It's Jerome with Jobs Well Done Cleaning, on the way to do another job well done. Today's job was a dryer vent, one-story roof exit, and this job was interesting because it made you go back to the basics. When I first did the estimate for the customer, I was on the way to a in-between jobs, going from a gutter cleaning on the way to another one, when this customer called me. So I stopped by there. Didn't really want to go in the house to be around too long around the customer because I was dirty from the gutter cleaning job. It looked simple enough. The only thing that raised a little flag to me was that the dryer was not directly under where the vent was or appeared to be. And also, it appeared that the kitchen hood was sharing the same gooseneck as the dryer vent. So, I briefly looked in the attic space. He had a lot of attic space accessibility. So I looked up there really quick and saw, and I was like, oh, that's not a common thing. Gave him a price, he agreed, and I came back later that week. So when I went to the house, I looked at in the attic space again, and it appeared again that the dryer vent was sharing a gooseneck with the kitchen hood. So I went to what I thought was the correct gooseneck, and it was totally clear, no lint, and I had the dryer running so I could do my wind speed check, and there was no movement in this vent at all. So I go to the other side of the pitch on the roof, and lo and behold, the dryer vent was on the other side of that roof pitch. So, like I said, back to the basics. You gotta look at you gotta step back and look at the big picture, and that's what we had there. So I found the correct gooseneck, and went from there. I did the initial wind speed check with the anemometer. So you can see me here changing to the correct unit I wanted to use, which was CFMs. And this was the initial reading I was getting. Between 5,600 and 6,500 CFMs. So from this point, I go inside and take the transition flex coil off the dryer vent, and the first thing I see is this accumulation of lint, and I start the process of the drill brush, agitating the lint and letting gravity make it fall down to the ground. around the 13, 14 stick mark, I started to feel a little resistance, which may indicate that I'm at the end of the reaching the gooseneck, or a total obstruction, or an elbow that's far away from where I am. So at this point, I decided to stop and clean up the lint that I produced from the cleaning, the agitation. And I wanted to do a wind speed check on the actual dryer itself to see what my beginning speed was at the dryer and compare it to what I received on the end once I can connect the system back together. As you can see here, there's a lot of lint that I produced that came out of this dryer vent. Way over 3 years worth of lint there. And this is the dryer vent itself after the initial brush agitation. It's a big difference from when we started. So after I connected the anemometer back up, the wind speed I got here was between 24 and 26,000 CFM. I connected the transition duct back to the dryer vent and sealed it with dryer vent tape. Usually I use a blower to blow it out from this point and blow the excess lint out of the gooseneck, but because I was dealing with multiple turns in the vent system, I decided to let the dryer itself blow the residual dust out of the dryer vent. And you see how I recorded what that production was, and it was not a lot. I was really expecting more than this, so it told me that something was going on that wasn't normal. So after the blowout, I came back to the gooseneck to do a wind speed check, and it confirmed my suspicion that something was wrong, because I was getting no activity on the anemometer, a 0 reading. So I went to the attic space and I felt around the vent pipe, and it was cold, not indicative of how a pipe should feel when the dryer is running. And when I knocked on it, it was you can tell it was full at this elbow point right here. So I went ahead and disconnected the elbow and found out that that was full of lint. It was totally blocked at this elbow, because the elbow was not bent at a perfect 45-degree angle, and it was catching lint in a ridge because it wasn't bent correctly. So from this point, I used the drill and brush and did my drill brush agitation from this elbow all the way out to the gooseneck. And you can see there in the bucket what it produced, what came back down. And then from this point, I used the blower to blow it out of the gooseneck. Because there were no turns, I wasn't afraid of the high velocity creating the obstruction. So, I blew it straight out from this point, out of the gooseneck. And that would confirm that the total dryer vent was clear of lint. So now that I've blown the lint out after doing the dry vent brush, I can properly tape all joints with dryer vent tape. This tape is specifically made for high heat and dryer vents. The old school way was duct tape, which it does work, but this is UL tested for high heat. And the reason why I have not that much footage from this space is because the attic was hot and the phone kept turning off. So I apologize for not having that much footage while I was doing the lint brush drilling and the blowout. I thought it was recording, but it had turned off due to high heat. So that's why the video is broken up into increments at this point. So now for the moment of truth, I go back, turn the dryer on, go back up to the roof, use my anemometer, and now I'm getting an awesome reading. And it also shot out a lot of lint when I blew it out from the attic space with the blower. And I'm getting a reading of over 10,000 CFM, which is awesome. I was getting over 20,000 at the dryer point. Keep in mind that there are 3 turns in the system, so I was not expecting to get nearly close to that. And here you can see the lint production that it made after that point. And this is the dryer vent gooseneck itself, clean and clear. And this was another job well done.